Hello, it's Neil here again from 12 Green Bottles Wine TV, and today I'm going to talk about Prosecco. Fantastic Prosecco, we love the bubbles. It's got to be the most popular sparkling wine in the UK right now, much more popular than champagne. What do we need to know in order to buy it? Well, I guess we ought to know what it tastes like. So first of all, we've got things like lemon citrus, golden apples, could be green apples. What's it made from? It's made from a grape called Glera. It used to be called Prosecco the grape, but actually Prosecco is also the name of the place that it comes from. It's in northeastern Italy, so they changed the name to Glera a few years ago in order to avoid any confusion. In order to buy Prosecco, we need to understand that there are different levels of sugar in the wine. We've got Brut, which means that there's no residual sugar, and therefore it will be really, really dry. We've got Extra Dry, which I can almost guarantee you this is the Prosecco that you've been drinking. There's a very small amount of residual sugar, not really very much at all. You can hardly detect it. And that's the one which is really popular in the UK. And we also have Dry, which has got a higher level of residual sugar, and it has a sweetness about it. It will tell you whether it's Brut, Extra Dry or Dry on the front label, but the Dry has so much residual sugar in it that it has a sweetness about it, and a lot of people don't like that, which is why you don't see a lot of examples of the dry Prosecco in the UK. The other thing that we need to know about Prosecco is there's a difference between the different places where it might be made. So it's all made in the area called Prosecco in northeastern Italy, and we've got the DOC Prosecco. It will tell you it's Denominazione di Origine Controllata on the label, and it will say Prosecco. If it doesn't say it on the front, it will say it on the back. What that's saying is that the Prosecco is made according to some rules which are determined by the governing body who set out what these producers are allowed to do in that region. We also have, and that will be the cheapest, the DOC Prosecco. This is a DOC Prosecco, and this one's a DOC Prosecco as well. We also then have something called a DOCG Prosecco. Now, the extra G on the end, you can think of it as guaranteed. It's actually garantita. But basically what that means is that the governing body has given it a stamp of approval as being one of the very best examples. And these particular garantita Proseccos are from an area called Val d'Obbadiene. And Val d'Obbadiene is where the very best Prosecco that we can get comes from. So if you're going to have, what I would say, if you're going to have a party and lots of people are drinking Prosecco, I would go for the standard DOC Prosecco. But if you're having Prosecco for a special occasion, if it's a christening or something or a wedding, go for the DOCG, push the boat out. Is there anything else that you need to know? Well, I guess as an aside to everything, there is a slightly different type of Prosecco that you can get, which we haven't really talked about, and that's called a frizzante. Now, these Proseccos are all spumantes, and that means that there's lots and lots of bubbles in them, and they've all got cages on the tops. You can see the cages here underneath the foil, I guess. If those cages weren't there, these corks would just fly out because there are so many bubbles in these bottles that the pressure in them is so high that the corks have just got to be held down and kept on top of the bottle. If we had a frizzante, we wouldn't see the cage. We'd see maybe a crown cap, like on a bottle of beer, or it would have a cork with a piece of string holding it down. And that's because there aren't so many bubbles in the frizzante. But for my money, I think, and they are a bit cheaper of course, but for my money, I think you're better off with the spumante. Don't go for the frizzante, always go for the spumante. If you're going to have bubbles, have lots of bubbles. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that, and I look forward to seeing you here next time. Thank you very much.